Minister, can I ask you in relation to the whole area of long COVID? This is, is an issue that I've raised with you on a number of occasions, and I know prior to Christmas you gave a commitment to explore the issue in relation to defining long COVID as an occupational illness for frontline workers, and you might update the committee on the progress that you've made in relation to that, particularly in the context of both the social welfare bill and the motion that was unanimously adopted by the Dáil before Christmas. Now, secondly, Minister, can I compliment your department on the statistics that they've been providing, which are the only authoritative statistics provided by the state in this country on long COVID, and that's in relation to individuals who unfortunately contracted COVID, availed of the enhanced illness benefit, and have been subsequently unable to return to work. I know this is a small cohort of the overall numbers of people with long COVID, but it is providing us with the only official statistics in this country, which are not available, bizarrely, from the Department of Health. And based on those figures, based on the figures that your department has furnished to me prior to Christmas, we're looking at 35% of people who were in receipt of enhanced illness benefit and a subsequent enhanced illness benefit, subsequently in receipt of illness benefit or disability allowance in total for 12 weeks after the initial COVID infection, have continued on in receipt of that payment for up to 6 months. We're talking about 1,475 people up to Christmas who have continued to receive that, which in percentage terms is a very significant percentage of people. And if that's reflected across the population in the terms of the number of people who contracted COVID, we are talking about very substantial numbers of people who are not able to participate in the workforce. And I believe it is an issue that your department needs to look at in terms of the impact this is having on our overall levels of disability, on our overall levels of workplace participation. And in that context, Minister, the emerging medical evidence that's coming out now is for people who have been diagnosed as having the conditions associated with long COVID, is that they should make a very phased progress in terms of activity and a phased return to work. Now, the difficulty is, Minister, under either illness benefit or disability allowance, there is no mechanism for them to do that. So the emerging medical evidence now is they should make a phased return to work. But the flexibility is not within the disablement schemes at present to facilitate that. And in light of the medical evidence that is emerging in this area, will you review it in the context of people with this particular condition? And it does come back to the broader issue of recognising it as an occupational illness, which could help to overcome some of the legalities that we're talking about in relation to allowing this phase back to work. Thank you.
Thanks, Chairman. I think illness benefit after 12 months, then you can go to partial capacity benefit, and then you can work on restricted. So I suppose that could in some way facilitate the phased return to work. But just to give you an update on where we are under the occupational injuries benefit scheme, as you know, my department provides support to those who contract an occupational disease at work. At the minute, COVID-19 does not constitute a prescribed disease or illness. We know that the European Commission officially added COVID-19 to its list of recommended occupational illnesses on the 28th of November, and it is a member state decision whether to recognise COVID-19 as an occupational disease. So it's up to the member states to decide that. So in terms of So I have now written to the Minister for Health and the Minister for Enterprise, Trade and Employment, asking them for their views, which will help to inform the next step. So that's where it's at the minute. I've written to them, and it'll be up to them to decide who goes on this list of, or give me a recommendation on who should be on the occupational injuries benefit scheme. So I'm waiting for a response back from both departments. So if you want to raise it with them, that'd be good. And can I just say the department does not retain data on the number of people in receipt of illness benefit with a diagnosis of long COVID, but there are currently 850 people in receipt of illness benefit as a result of a COVID-19 diagnosis. So those are the figures we have here at the minute. Just wanted to give you
those figures aren't accurate based on the figures that have been provided to me, because I know that before Christmas we had 1,475 that were in receipt of illness benefit for at least 3 months after they had transitioned from enhanced illness benefit. Yeah. So those figures are way short of the actual figures that will be provided to me in parliamentary questions. So what I'd say to you, Minister, is look, you might come back to the committee.
We get an up-to-date.
Yeah, with those figures.
No problem.
We're obviously talking about apples and oranges here in relation to it. And I don't want you to be in a position that you've inadvertently misled the committee.
I don't mean to do that.
Yeah, I know that, but I know that.
Well, we'll come back to you.
I know those figures aren't accurate. Now, and can I thank you, Minister, for moving on, recognising this as an occupational illness, and I know you have to wait the responses back from the two departments, but you have moved on it, and I want to recognise that. The final question, just coming back to the comment that you made. Yes, it is the case that someone in receipt of illness benefit, and I presume enhanced illness benefit is calculated into that calculation. So someone who has between enhanced illness benefit and illness benefit made a claim for at least 12 months can then apply for partial capacity to return to work. Now, I know that at the moment we have appalling waiting lists trying to access long COVID clinics, but we're told that the intention is to reduce these. And if people are able to make a recovery, they shouldn't be locked out of returning to work for 12 months. There needs to be flexibility in relation to this particular illness where they can, because the evidence is only emerging in relation to this. And the reality is that in all probability, these people will not be fit to hold down full-time employment, within 12 months. But if they can work even half a day a week or a couple of hours a day, if it helps their recovery and allows them to get back into the workforce far quicker, we need to be able to facilitate it. And the difficulty is the rigidity of illness benefit and partial capacity at the moment does not take into account what is now the emerging medical treatment for long COVID. And we shouldn't be delaying someone's treatment because of the fact that they would be locked out of social welfare as a result of that. So I would ask you and your officials to look at this particular impediment that is now locking people out of making, hopefully, a full recovery post-COVID.